The Rise of Skywalker introduced several new concepts to the canon Star Wars mythos, one of which involved the resurgence of Emperor Palpatine through the use of cloning. Obviously though, cloning is not a completely new concept in itself, as back in 2015, we were introduced to a character that had done something similar in the comics. I am referring to a character named Kylo. Not Kylo Ren, but an Imperial scientist named Kylo, which is spelled with a C and not with a K. This character, Kylo, was an Imperial scientist that worked in the Tarkin Initiative, which was essentially an Imperial think tank that was responsible for the creation of the Death Star, the Death Troopers, and the Blasmotech prototype. The Tarkin Initiative basically made a bunch of advanced weapons and experiments to fuel the Imperial war machine. Their most prominent project was the Death Star. Kylo was a popular and influential scientist in the Tarkin Initiative, and his whole philosophy was that people needed to evolve through technology and cybernetics. He didn't have much faith in the Force, instead believing that technology was a much more powerful substitute and successor. Kylo believed that the galaxy was nearing an end and that people needed to evolve quicker. To that end, Kylo worked for Emperor Palpatine to create replacements for Darth Vader. Kylo had actually created the technology that kept Darth Vader alive after his defeat at Mustafar, and Palpatine wanted to see what else Kylo could do for the Empire. For 20 years, Kylo experimented on his voluntary test subjects, hoping to craft cybernetically enhanced warriors that could replace Darth Vader as Palpatine's apprentice and enforcer. Additionally, Kylo hoped that this would also increase his own standing in the Empire, and give him more influence over the galaxy, as he secretly hoped to be able to transform more people into cybernetically enhanced individuals. However, Palpatine saw through Kylo's ambitions and suspected that he was up to something. However, Palpatine could also not act against Kylo because Kylo was such an influential part of the Tarkin Initiative. He felt that if he were to kill or remove Kylo, a schism would be created amongst the Empire's scientists, and Palpatine did not want to risk that while the Death Star was still under construction. Through a series of events, Kylo eventually overplayed his hand and revealed himself as a traitor to the Empire, sometime after the Battle of Yavin, once the Death Star had finished construction, and then of course once it was subsequently destroyed. Using his technology-based warriors, Kylo attacked the Kuat Drive shipyards, where the latest Super Star Destroyer was being constructed. But Darth Vader was able to put a stop to his schemes and kill him once and for all. Now, all of that was really just context for Kylo. What's important here is that Kylo had actually died several times before this. The really unique thing about Kylo was his ability to cheat death in a way. Through his technology and his experimentation, Kylo had discovered a way to create clones of himself that would activate upon his death. So, when one body died, another body would activate. Basically, his clones allowed him to continue living past his host body's death. He had also discovered a way to transfer his mind and memories along with these clones, so whenever he died, his next host body would still retain all of his memories from his previous incarnation. To quote Kylo from the Darth Vader comics, he said to Vader, after his clone body was reactivated, "I am no longer Kylo 4. I am now Kylo 5. When the last body did not return, my next body was activated. I've created a personality map small enough to be simulated efficiently. Add memory banks and plug-in calculation systems, and I am an immortal system." Darth Vader eventually killed all of Kylo's clones, thus removing the threat of Kylo once and for all. However, I can't help but feel that this concept ironically mirrors Palpatine's ability to transfer his essence into a host body as well. During the Galactic Civil War, Palpatine's Sith cultists on Exegol were busy creating clones of Palpatine, as well as several copies of Snoke. This was before Palpatine had even died on the second Death Star. However, when he did eventually die, His essence was transferred to one of these clone bodies on Exegol through the Force. Unfortunately for him, the clone host body could not contain such a powerful essence such as Palpatine's, hence why it started to wither and look as decrepit as it did in the Rise of Skywalker. The irony in the situation is that Kylo was able to perfectly transfer himself through the use of technology, yet Palpatine and his Sith cult had trouble when doing it through the Force. I also wonder though if some of the technology that they used on Exegol was at least partially based off of Kylo's work. I wonder if maybe Palpatine was inspired by Kylo's ability to change host bodies, or was he already developing clones on Exegol beforehand? Personally, I find it very interesting to think about. Kylo had been a part of the Empire since its inception, so I think that Palpatine had in fact been inspired by Kylo's technology and had looked into immortality through the use of cloning because of that. That's just a theory though, there's no confirmation for that whatsoever. They could have been two entirely separate concepts. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. Thanks for checking it out, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't, definitely check out the Darth Vader 2015 comic run. It was a really good one, and I recently finished rereading it, hence why I'm actually talking about this right now, because it's fresh in my mind. As usual though, thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.